It's Sunday, May 2nd at about 1:45 in the afternoon, and it's a glorious day. It's 20 degrees at least. I'm out in my shorts and t-shirt, finally. First time this year in my shorts. And I've been working in the vegetable garden all morning. I've been spreading the manure pile across the garden, and I've been probably working out here for 3 hours. I could have done this with the tractor a lot more easily, but I wanted to get the spread of the manure more even than you can easily do with a big bucket on a tractor. So here's the view of the garden looking south. So these are the piles that I've taken from the manure pile, and I've just taken individual wheelbarrows, and you can see how I've spaced them here. I sort of went from side to side, alternating their spacing, so when I rake them out, which is what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to rake them with a hand rake them in towards each other, just to get a more even covering of the manure across the garden. Once I get that spread out, then I'm going to till that in. Now this is all we've got left of our manure pile. So this was the big pile here, and I've taken most of it down. I'll take a bit more out of it yet because it's still pretty high there. And then we have this one other one, and we're going to use this for some of the flower gardens as well as the other vegetable garden that's smaller on the other side of the house. Anyhow, I just thought some people might find that interesting. This is a method you can use to spread the manure across the garden if you're not minding doing a bit of work with a wheelbarrow, and that gives you a nice even covering. This will probably be about 1 inch or 2 inches deep once I rake it out. And then I just till it down to, I'll put the tiller down to about 5 inches deep, and then a lot of this will stay in the surface but also go down a few inches and give our sandy soil much more water retention ability, especially useful if you get a drought summer or that kind of thing. Plus it also adds a lot of nutrients to the soil that the plants can use. So the process is just putting in about 15 or 20 shovelfuls to make up a flat wheelbarrow full. I don't mound it up right over the top, I just have it flat. That's the amount I'm trying to use here. Most of this is fairly well rotted. Some sections are not quite as rotted as the others, but once it gets in the soil, microorganisms and worms in the soil will start to break it down. Anyhow, that one's full to where I want it. Now I'll just alternate the location. So now the approach is simply to rake these piles out towards each other, flatten them out to the degree possible, not too flat, but just try to get them so they'll spread to each other to some degree. You don't have to worry about every little detail, but as you rotor till over this, it starts to even out the spreading as well. Just makes it an more even spread. In actuality, this material I'm adding is compost, really. It is mainly horse manure, but I've also added a good pile of vegetative material, grass clippings, weeds that we've pulled out of gardens in the past, and other household composting material. And so there's a section that's been raked out. You can rake it fairly quickly, and then it's ready for tilling after that. So here's the garden the following morning after the tilling was done. We had a little bit of rain overnight, so it's darkened the soil quite a bit. Looks good and fertile. This could still be smoothed out just to flatten it a bit to make the planting a little easier, but that gives you the impression of what we did with the spreading of the compost. This small section here on the end, that was as far as I got covered with the big pile. I could still take some from that section of the pile here, although I may just till this in, then use a bit of this other pile for in here, as well as the other gardens.